I'm Jim adult and teacher's librarian here at Fountain Public Library. Now, the holidays are over, kids are going back to school, people are coming back from vacation, everyone is settling back into the grind with that awful Midwestern cold settling in. It may make some people want to stay indoors, take it easy, and read something warm and happy. Well, I didn't do that, because I read The Least of Us, True Tales of America and Hope in Time of Fentanyl and Meth by Sam Konis. Also author of 2015's Dreamland, previous work on the ties between Big Pharma, mainly Purdue Pharma, the prescription of painkillers, and drug trafficking. Notable for being the winner of 2016's National Book Critics Award Circle for general nonfiction. Now, this work can very much consider an update to Dreamland. Using a series of interlocking stories in addiction, broken down towns, broken lives, neuroscience, and pharmaceutical corruption, Konos tells the story of the opioid epidemic and skyrocketing drug overdoses and homelessness across America. Now, without giving you the full table of contents, the major themes are 1. Addiction plays off fundamental factors of biology. 2. The lack of economic opportunities, the skyrocketing and sudden loss of jobs destroys people and communities. People do not do good without the healthy social community to belong to, and this is linked to chronic pain. Addictive behavior is exacerbated by lost community and chronic pain. Pharmaceutical companies push doctors to prescribe painkillers who, once they lost their jobs or lost their jobs because of abusing painkillers, soon lose people to street drugs as replacement. The illegal drug trade is dominated by a potent and ridiculously profitable chemical called fentanyl. This new kind of meth, cut with fentanyl, or P2P, is different in that it can be produced with no organic compounds, many of which can be purchased through Chinese suppliers legally. Someone with a bunch of chemicals for a small investment can mix up thousands of dollars of meth using fentanyl. Now, the current tendency to see overdoses is because partially from the dilution process, because it's often done with something like a magic bullet blender, which doesn't work at all for something like a powder. Someone could easily just take 10 times the dose, more than they thought, and then boom, overdose. Now, pharmaceutical companies spend thousands of dollars to make sure like drugs are mixed properly, and that's one reason for a huge number of overdoses we're seeing right here now. Now, anything cut with fentanyl does horrible and debilitating long-term effects to the brain and body. This can be directly tied to the current massive spike in homelessness. Now, the pandemic and the resulting job loss and isolation from it have been like throwing gasoline on this entire process. Now, with this, Konos ties in stories of heartbreak and hope from across America, Mexico, and the rest of the world. Now, my thoughts. As you may know from my overview, it's kind of a patchwork of related ideas. They don't always fit together, but they usually do. The book is divided with interwoven topics arranged in a way that tells a story. Now, Konos is a fantastic storyteller. Each character and the community he introduces is explained in a compelling and poignant way. Sometimes the structure works fantastically. Take one section from a small town, then a person, then talk about neuroscience, back to the person. Though some of these are clearly standalone and probably could have been just been an article somewhere. Overall, I'd say it works. Now, I really like the sections on psychology of addiction in general through sugar. It's used as a really good example. It's an interesting side note that really hammers home the nature of addiction and helps to establish that addictive behavior is already embedded in modern life and it's just part of biology. There's basically add sugar to everything we eat now. As someone who has struggled with weight for most of his life, there are definite reasons to treat it like a harmful drug. You cannot understand homelessness as it exists in this country currently without understanding drug addiction. I don't want to stigmatize anyone seeking help or support, but the evidence is overwhelming that homelessness is tied to mental health problems, particularly as a result of trauma, more directly brain trauma, and drug use can exacerbate and create mental health problems associated with that. One thing it was really associated with was schizophrenia-like symptoms. That was a big thing that abusing P2P can cause. Human brains get sick, they always have, but we don't treat it like an illness or disease. We treat it as, at worst, criminal or a social problem. Right now, as a country, we are not given the attention it deserves. Now, finally, disconnection with community and family. This is a thread that Konos weaves throughout all the personal stories, but I want to share this particular passage from Neuroscience 3. As a culture, it seems to me we did more or less what she did. Not, of course, that we were all on heroin, but like a drug addict, We came to believe that we were fine alone. Communing with others was messy, awkward, put us in contact with people who didn't look, think, or believe as we did. It meant collective effort, sharing. Sometimes it cost us more in taxes. It was hard work. Sometimes it meant limiting what we wanted in favor of the community good. But modern life and our prosperities allows us to live in houses with empty sidewalks, knowing no one, a separate bedroom for every child, or segregate into regions where everyone believes, looks, and talks as we do. Now, if you're reading this book, we have this print copy here, the one I'm holding. But if you can't get to it, the soda is available in the library in our system, so if you want, you can just order it and get it here fairly quickly. You can also read it as an ebook through the Libby app, which you can find information on at fountaindale.org/digital. Now, I would like to say you can also get an e-audio, but that's exclusive to Audible. They keep grabbing every popular release as an exclusive, which really cuts into other services that can get access to it, which includes the ones we subscribe to. That's a separate gripe, but it's just one I want to bring up. That's all I had for today. Remember, the least of us is all of us. Stay healthy, everyone.